Okaeri, welcome back to my channel, Made in Transit. My name is Taylor, and today we're going to be talking about my origin story of sorts, how I came to be living in Japan. Now, this is a question that a lot of you had for me over on Made Between the Pages, my booktube channel as well. So I figured this was the perfect space, the perfect time to finally just tell that story. So going back to the very first time I came to this country, I was in elementary school, I believe in 3rd or 4th grade. It's debatable, I don't remember which one. But around that time, I was very lucky that my dad works for NASA. And at that time, the project that he was working on was with JAXA, which is the Japanese version of NASA. That was a weird way to say that, but you get what I'm trying to say. So at that time, he was going back and forth between America and Japan quite a lot. And so this time around, my mom and I said, hey, we're going to tag along. So while he was working and in meetings, my mom and I were frolicking through Japan. We also had some family friends who were just incredible and showed us a lot of the kind of behind the scenes view of the culture, as well as getting to see the more touristy side. This first time we stayed in Tokyo, and I remember the hotel so clearly. It was called the Shinagawa Prince Hotel. It had like a restaurant on the top floor that had like an aquarium as part of it. It had a bowling alley, and this was, I'm dating myself, but this was back when the internet was like a new big thing, and they had an internet cafe, and they had the best chocolate chip pancakes. Oh my god, I loved where we stayed. So that's not the only thing I remember, obviously. We did a lot of things, saw a lot when I was first here, although I don't remember if we went to Kyoto this first time or the second time. The second time that we came was when I was in middle school for the exact same kind of reasons, the exact same setup. So when my dad was working, my mom and I got to frolic and again meet with some family friends. Both of us were just so touched by the hospitality of the people that we knew and just the level of respect that everyone kind of showed in this country. And I just remember being so impacted by that, and also how different it was from everything that I knew up until this point in my life. Obviously, I was still really young both times. The second time I came when I was in middle school, I had started to get into anime and manga and everything, but the first time I wasn't really aware of that aspect of the culture at all. I just remember being so struck by the beauty of it and how different it was and exciting that was for me. Except the food. I was terrified of the food the first time I came. There's this one story where I remember we were brought to like a traditional Japanese restaurant by a family friend, and it's this beautiful like tatami room, and there's a view of like a koi pond. It was so picturesque, but my stubborn ass would not eat anything. This is when I was in 3rd grade. Everything scared me. A lot of the fish here still has the head attached, and I didn't like my food looking back at me. So I wouldn't eat almost anything. And at that place, they wouldn't take your plates until you finished it. So I just had this mountain of plates in front of me. And I remember my mom looking at me and being like, Taylor, if you don't eat something, there will be consequences later. Eat something, damn it. It was so disrespectful. But I still have, really good memories of that time, clearly. But outside of the food, I pretty much had a fantastic time the first 2 times that I came here. I was also very lucky in junior high school because of those family friends that I mentioned that I could go to a Japanese junior high school for a day. And that was an incredible experience. I had a pen pal from that for a while. So I was just very lucky the first 2 times that I came here with what I was able to experience and enjoy at that time. So obviously, after that initial wonderful experience, my interest in this country was pretty solidified. And so I decided that I wanted to study abroad here. So in high school, I studied abroad in Fukuoka. I did not choose Fukuoka. The company that was choosing my host family just serendipitously chose a family that lived in Fukuoka. So that was my first time coming here. Up until this point, I had only done like the bigger cities like Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, things like that. But I really hit it off with my host family. We are still incredibly close to this day. I consider my host sister and brother to be like sisters and brothers to me. And I consider my host parents to be another set of parents. So again, just very lucky with who I was matched with. I went to an all-girls high school, got to wear the Japanese school uniform, kind of had that whole experience, and it was amazing. I can go more into details, of course, about this part in my life if people are interested in it. What it was like going to an all-girls school and challenges, good aspects of that experience. I can really go into that if you guys are interested, like I said. But for now, we'll just keep it brief. Yes, I went to a Japanese high school. And then after coming back to the States, I stayed in the States for quite a while. I went to university in the States, graduated, worked in a speech therapy office. Actually, I worked in insurance. I did a couple different things. And then I decided, I don't know if I decided, but there was something in me that said, it's time to return to Japan. So I decided, okay, let's make it happen. So I started looking for jobs to teach English over here. Now, there are a lot of different areas in which you can teach English. There's public schools, private tutoring, online, in person. There's a lot of different options. But for me, again, here comes the luck. When I studied abroad in high school, I went to my host brother and sister's English class a couple times, and I met their teacher. And their teacher remembered me when I told my host sister I wanted to come back to Japan. And that teacher had changed companies to a company that she really enjoyed working for, and they needed a new teacher. So she was like, well, why don't you just come work for the company I'm at now? We need a new teacher. Why not? I know you. I trust you. Come on over. And I was like, absolutely yes. So that's how I ended up working for the company that I stayed at for the whole time that I was here, which is IAC. I actually already have a video about the difference between Eikaiwa, which is like a private conversation school, and ALT, which is a public assistant language teacher. I talk about the differences there and talk about IAC more in that video. But again, if you guys are interested, I can talk more about that. But for the sake of this video, we can just say for the last 7 to 8 years, I've been working at a private English conversation school. At first, I was planning on only staying for a year, but then I met my now husband, and I think it's pretty obvious what happened. I did not go home after a year. And just 2 months ago, I gave birth to a beautiful daughter. I have wonderful in-laws as well. I was very nervous meeting them for the first time because like a tattooed, hair-shaved foreigner is really not what a lot of Japanese parents have in mind for their children to marry, with. But they are extremely open-minded, and they've been welcoming to me from the beginning. And now I have this life that I've established here. I've also only lived in Fukuoka. I've never lived in other places, and I wouldn't change that for the world. I love this place. It's so easy and comfortable to live here. The food is amazing. I can make a lot more content about Fukuoka as well. So that's just an overall quick explanation of how I found myself in Japan and living the life that I live today. If there's any aspects of the story you really want to hear more about, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys are interested in seeing on this channel, and if it's within my realm of experience, I'm open to talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell. I really look forward to engaging with you guys from here on out. But for now, I'm gonna head out. Ja ne!